The cold jungle night smelled of rain and fear. Lieutenant Aaron Vance trudged through the underbrush, pulse rifle slung over his shoulder. His team had scattered hours ago after the ambush, half dead, the other half missing. He wasn't sure which group he belonged in. He had a shredded uniform, a busted comms unit, and only the vaguest idea of where the evac point was. The vines dragged at his boots like chains, and the shrill calls of unseen predators echoed from the canopy. But then, through the chorus of insects, he heard it. A faint whimper. He froze, lifted his rifle. The sound came again, quieter this time, muffled, like someone trying not to be heard. Aaron crouched, pushed aside a curtain of moss, and found her. A child. Not human. She was curled in the roots of a massive tree, knees hugged to her chest. Her skin had a pale emerald hue, her eyes far too wide for her small face. She trembled when she saw him, but didn't run. Aaron lowered his rifle.
Easy.
I'm not here to hurt you. She stared at him, chest rising and falling quickly. When she finally spoke, her voice was no louder than the whisper of rain on leaves. They left me. Her name was Lyra. She was 9, though her species measured years differently. She spoke enough broken standard to explain. Her family had fled the jungle during the ambush, leaving her behind. They told her she was a weight. Too slow. Too weak. Not worth the risk. Aaron sat across from her by the roots of the tree, unable to speak for a moment. In all his years as a soldier, he'd seen cruelty in many forms. But this, leaving a child alone in predator-filled jungle, was something different. Something uglier. Why didn't you run with them? He asked. Her small hands twisted in her lap. I tried. But my legs, they said I slowed them. So they pushed me down. Aaron swallowed hard. He wanted to deny it, tell her she misunderstood. But her eyes were too steady, too knowing. You're not a weight, he said finally. Lyra shook her head. That's what they said. I was born small, not strong like the others. She looked down, whispering so softly he barely heard. I ruin things. Something inside Aaron cracked. He remembered his own childhood, being told by his father that he'd never be enough, that he'd always be a failure. Those words had followed him into every battlefield. And now he saw the same shadow in Lyra's eyes. No, he said firmly, leaning closer. You're not ruined. You survived. That makes you stronger than they'll ever know. She blinked, as though no one had ever said that to her before. Over the next days, they stuck together. Aaron built a shelter from branches, taught her how to boil water in a metal canteen, how to stay silent when the predators passed nearby. Lyra followed him everywhere, clutching a piece of torn cloth from her old tunic like it was a lifeline. She was quiet, but observant. She'd point at certain plants and whisper warnings. Poison. Or she'd tug his sleeve, guiding him toward a hidden fruit cluster. You know this jungle better than me, Aaron admitted one evening as they sat beside a small fire. You're the strong one here. Lyra looked at him strangely, as if she couldn't quite believe he meant it. Then, very softly, she asked, why do you stay with me? Aaron stared into the flames. Because he couldn't leave her. Because he couldn't stomach the thought of her dying alone, thinking she was worthless. Because saving her was the first thing that felt right in a long, long time. But all he said was, because no one deserves to be abandoned. She was silent for a while. Then she whispered, thank you. On the 4th night, the jungle tested them. The predators came, 6-legged beasts with scales that shimmered like oil, eyes glowing faint in the dark. Their growls shook the ground. Aaron grabbed his rifle. Stay behind me, he ordered. But when the creatures lunged, it was Lyra who shouted, a sharp, alien sound that rang like broken glass through the trees. The beasts froze, hackles raised. "They fear the call," she whispered. "My mother taught me. It makes them think the forest spirits are near." The predators snarled once more, then melted back into the shadows. Aaron exhaled slowly, lowering his weapon. "You just saved us." Lyra's lips twitched in the faintest of smiles. "I'm not a weight." "No," Aaron said. "You're not." By the end of the week, Aaron's beacon finally caught a signal. A rescue ship. He wanted to cheer. Instead, he turned to Lyra, heart heavy. "They'll take me back," he said carefully. "And I'll make sure they take you too." Her eyes widened. "But humans don't keep ones like me." Aaron knelt, placing a hand on her thin shoulder. "Humans keep family, and that's what you are now." Her lips trembled. "Family?"
"Yes."
"If you'll have me." For a long moment, she said nothing. Then she threw her arms around him, clinging so tightly it nearly broke him. "I'll have you," she whispered. The extraction zone was chaos. Soldiers swarmed, medics shouted, engines roared. Lyra held Aaron's hand in a death grip, shrinking from the noise. Some of the soldiers looked at her with confusion, others with suspicion. One officer frowned. "Lieutenant, what's this? We can't bring locals aboard without clearance." Aaron squared his shoulders. "She's with me. Non-negotiable. She's not human."
"She's a child," Aaron snapped.
"One who survived more than half this platoon. So, unless you want me to file an official objection, she's coming." The officer hesitated, then, grudgingly, waved them through. Aaron felt Lyra squeeze his hand tighter. Later, aboard the evac ship, Lyra sat by the window. Stars glittered beyond the glass, endless and sharp. She touched the pane as though she couldn't believe they were real. Aaron sat beside her. "What are you thinking?" She looked at him, eyes glistening. "All my life, I thought I was nothing, a weight to be left behind. But you stayed. You gave me a chance." Her voice broke. "Why?" Aaron swallowed hard. "Because someone once told me I was nothing too. And I wished, every day, that someone would prove them wrong. I couldn't let you live with that same lie." Tears spilled down her cheeks, silent and steady. She whispered the words that pierced him deeper than any wound. "I was waiting for someone to come. I thought no one ever would." Aaron pulled her close, holding her trembling frame against his chest. "You have me now, Lyra," he said softly. "And I'm not letting go." When the ship docked at the station, Lyra stepped out hand in hand with him. Her family might have abandoned her, but Aaron knew, deep in his bones, that family wasn't about blood. It was about who stayed when everyone else walked away. And as they walked together into the bright lights of a new world, Lyra whispered one final thing. "I'm not a weight anymore." Aaron smiled through the ache in his throat.
"No."
"You're my reason to keep going."